2013. This is his first time back since, so plenty of experience there for him. He's 31 years old now. A policeman from Rome, Simone Fiori. Aslonov, 26. He's a rugged-looking 26-year-old. So Aslonov in the red, Fiori in the blue, and you can see the physical difference between them there. Fiori is a tall, light, heavy, quite slender. Aslonov is the opposite, on the shorter side, a bit stockier. Fiori trying to get onto the jab there, and he'll need that jab. Climbing onto the inside there, Aslonov with a left hook to the body, and another one, and looking upstairs with the left. Fiori backed up to the ropes here, trying to use the jab, and then just turns out of the corner, which was a useful thing to have done. Long right hand to the body there from Fiori. That will also be a good shot for him. He's got to get the respect of Aslonov here. He's got to be able to hit him hard enough and often enough with that jab and that 1-2 to make him, just to make him think a bit, because if he can't, then he will just try and walk through him. Needs to snap on that jab. The referee telling them both to step back when he gives instruction to stop boxing, which is fair enough, but when they were in the clinch before then and Aslonov landed that little right to the head, he hadn't said stop. And just having a chat with Fiori about punching round the back of the head, not deliberately, but that's quite likely to happen given the styles of these two. Just under a minute remaining in round one. Aslonov at times has managed to get up close where he wants to be. Hasn't landed all that much when he's got there. A couple of left hands to the body early on. Fiori has used that jab pretty effectively. Nice left to the body there from Aslonov, and then went up top with it. He is a strong, strong fighter, setting those feet wide as he's backed Fiori up to the corner there. He gets power, generates real power from the waist with that core rotation. Allows him to keep that head on the move as well. Four scores of 10-9 there for Aslonov and 1 for Fiori. I would have gone with the red corner there. Not just because he was on the front foot and looking aggressive, Aslonov. He did land some good shots to the body. Fiori was able to keep him off for the most part, but a lot of what he threw was taken on the guard by Aslonov.
Rigby, seconds out. Rigby, round number 2.
Again, just steps onto the inside there, Aslonov. He was working hard, Fiori, throwing that 1-2 just to try and keep him out. But eventually he gets there. He gets to the range that he wants to be at, and when he is there, whatever he hits you with is going to have an impact, because, as I say, that upper body is really strong. He's got pretty solid-looking legs on him as well. There's a lot of explosivity there for Aslonov. An apology there for Fiori. He said that he didn't hear the instruction to stop boxing. Immediately, very apologetic, actually. But then gets straight back into it as they're ushered back in towards each other. Aslonov just launching himself in with that left hand, and Fiori just not back into the ropes there. The referee's taken a point here. He's taken a point for holding against Aslonov, who just nods his head. Well, that adds a different complexion to things now. He won that opening round with 4 out of the 5 judges, Aslonov. I think he's on his way to winning this one on the cards, but he's going to have a point deduction. We've still got 30 seconds remaining as well, and Fiori, I think, just energised by that a bit. And he's now demonstrating, Aslonov, that he's not holding by holding those arms out wide. I'm not totally sure about that point deduction. I haven't noticed all that much holding from Aslonov, to be honest. But he didn't seem to argue with it. He didn't seem to argue with the decision from the referee. And split scoring again. 4-10-9s in favour of Aslonov as the scores come up there, but with the point deduction, that means that we got one score for him of 20 points to 17. Three of 19 points to 18 and a 19-18 against him. So he's still in the driving seat here. Fiori's got to win this final round. If he can win this final round, then we could have a scenario similar to the one that we saw between Omer Bekizic and George Crotty. The scores actually going into the final round are exactly the same. They're exactly the same. So if he can win the final round here, Fiori, he could level it up at 28-28 on those 3 drawn cards, and then he would need to hope that the judge's decision with them went his way. And he's got to be careful here, Aslonov, because he's already had 1 point deduction. Another one would be very bad news. Moves in behind that jab. Switch stances. In the last round and this round on occasions. Nice 1-2 there from Fiori, but Aslonov just comes in with the right hand and then just pushing off a little bit with the forearm, and he really does need to be careful. 2 minutes remaining. Another point could go here. It was Fiori that time who dipped a bit low with the head. midway through the round. Both of them just leaning in a bit there, just seeming to agree with each other that they would take a few seconds off. It's been a grueling kind of fight, this, for both of them, because Aslonov's a hard man to fight if you're Fiori, because he's very strong. He's kind of bull-like in the way that he rushes in, and he's rough. And Aslonov, for his part, well, the way he chooses to fight is hard. You need all that upper body movement that he showed us there. You've got to be in the kind of shape that he's in to do this. Into the final minute. It's been messy, this final round. Not a great deal has landed. Left hand there from Aslonov, but he looks the fresher of the two as we head towards the end of the fight. And although he shut down his own space a bit too quickly a lot of the time, which he's done kind of throughout the 3 minutes, really, he's winning this round, I would say. And I guess that's kind of the problem with his method, is that, as I described it, he balls his way in, and that momentum is all forward, and getting the punches away before he's right on top of his opponent and doesn't really have room to punch is quite hard. It's not like he bobs and weaves his way onto the inside, sets his feet there and then starts working. He moves in from distance and keeps moving. So there goes the final bell. Heading into that final round, Fiori had a lead on one of the cards. Aslonov was out of sight on another one, and the other three were level. So the other three, rather, were 19-18 to Aslonov. So Fiori needs to have won that final round with 4 out of those 5 judges to maintain the lead he had on one card, turn those 3 19-18s into 3 28-28s, and hope they all go his way. I don't think that's going to happen. Action is finished in ring A, just waiting for the score to be handed to RMC, and then we'll get the final announcement of this afternoon's session in ring B.
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring a close to about 282 with your judges ruling in favor of your winner by split decision. To the red corner, from Uzbekistan, it's Odiljon Aslonov.
And he gets it with 4 out of the 5 judges in that third and final round. And Aslonov